although the amusement park is not the first movie that comes to mind when George A. Romero's name is mentioned. It is an unnerving piece of work, which transports audiences to a nightmarish dystopian world. Originally intended as an educational film about elder abuse and neglect, Romero directed and edited the project, and approached it with a dark edginess which propelled it closer to the horror genre he was so accustomed to. As a result, the film had a turbulent journey before being released. It was filmed in just 3 days in 1973, but it was shelved for fears of it being too dark for a movie made for educational purposes. In 1975, it premiered at some film festivals before it was thought to be lost. Then, in 2017, it was miraculously rediscovered and screened at some more festivals in 2018, but it reached a wider audience when it was made available to stream on Shudder in 2021. Sadly, Romero passed away in 2017 and never got to see the critical acclaim the movie received upon its re-release. Collide a video of the day the amusement park opens with lead actor Lincoln Mizell speaking directly to the audience about how the elderly are overlooked by a youth-obsessed American society. He is not in character at this point and describes old age as the saddest cause of denial and rejection. This line in particular is very affecting and, even if audiences were aware of the movie's history, it still sets up the wake-up call that is to come. Mizell goes on to play an unnamed elderly gentleman who unsuspectingly visits a deceptively pleasant amusement park that truly is the stuff of nightmares. Aside from Mizell's personal prologue and epilogue, the tone of the movie is dark and mean-spirited. While this may be a turn-off for some viewers, it is clearly a deliberate choice and Romero knew exactly how to get the movie's message across with real agony and intelligence. The metaphorical and surreal trip to the park is almost hypnotizing in its unusualness. The setting of the amusement park is a frightening contrast to its true nature. Romero made the movie on a budget of $37,000, and the low budget, grainy feel adds to the daunting and dizzying journey he sends audiences on with Mizell. His constant mistreatment and victimization reflects the real world in a terrifying way, and the time loop aspect to the film ensures it resonates with viewers of all ages. The movie starts and ends with a broken, bruised, and bloodied Mizell warning a cleaner, more presentable version of himself not to enter the amusement park despite his desire to. At the start, this scene is rather confusing, but when it stumbles to the exact same situation in the conclusion, it is genuinely upsetting. Romero manages to amplify the distress and emotion by repeating this moment. When the scene comes again at the end, it also appears to be a frank and gloomy reflection of dementia. The devastating real-life illness is certainly present in the amusement park's message, and as the movie nears its conclusion, it grows stronger and stronger. When Marcel finally breaks down after all the suffering he has had to endure, it is a really heartbreaking moment. It is not just the mistreatment of the elderly Marcel that is disturbing. At some points in the movie, a Grim Reaper-like figure watches him from afar, giving the impression that death is always nearby, and though the figure's screen time is limited, Romero is able to capture the paranoia of him being ever present. This only serves as an addition to the nihilistic fate that awaits Marcel. In the movie's epilogue, he delivers the profound final line, "I'll see you in the park" someday, and leaves the audience to reflect on everything the movie has thrown at them as the credits begin to roll. Romero is seen as an influential figure in the horror genre for his iconic Dead series, which began in 1968 with Night of the Living Dead. His 1968 feature debut is regarded as one of the greatest horror movies of all time, even receiving laudation from Roger Ebert, who notoriously disliked graphic violence. Night of the Living Dead includes a similarly low-budget, grainy aesthetic to the amusement park, which in turn, also elevates its effectiveness. Each film in the Dead series offered up critiques of society and made profound statements, just as the amusement park does. Although his contribution to the zombie movie cannot be underestimated, Romero also enjoyed success away from the subgenre. Some of Romero's most popular movies outside of the Dead series were The Crazies and Martin, the latter of which reunited him with Marcel. Romero's exploration of social collapse and disorder in The Crazies and Martin did not go unnoticed, and he became known for the social commentaries in his horror movies. Romero found a way to express himself and make bold political statements in the horror genre, and he admitted he found movies without social consciousness unappealing. His ability to disturb audiences while addressing social issues made him an ideal director for the amusement park, and, though it only reached more audiences after his death, it feels like he managed to make the movie exactly as he himself intended. Though it runs at only 54 minutes, the amusement park is a mentally exhausting experience. Its absurdist tone is disorienting, but its message never gets lost. It works as an educational film, but it works better as a psychological horror movie. It instigates paranoid feelings the moment Marcel sets foot into the park and leaves a strong impression once he has left. The repetitive and experimental nature of the movie may not work for everyone, and it is not always easy to watch, but it is an intentionally distressing hidden gem which captures the brutal reality in a horrifying fantasy. The Amusement Park is a movie made with a clear purpose, and despite its complicated history, the godfather of the dead has crafted a truly disturbing work of art.